listening to Cosmic Cousins Soul-Centered Astrology. I am your host, Jeff Hinshaw. Thanks for tuning in. Cosmic Cousins is dedicated to honoring the interconnectedness of our universal family through embodied health, self-discovery, and deeper learning. And it is here to bring you back into alignment with the cosmos. So thank you for being here as always. Hey, Cosmic Cousins. Welcome back to another week of the podcast. This is our special Aquarius New Moon podcast episode. The sun just entered Aquarius, and then we're greeted with this Aquarius New Moon just one day into Aquarius season. This is a pattern that we've been experiencing the last few months, and it takes us through until Aries season of this year, where we have a new moon at the start of the astrological season. So this Aquarius New Moon is on Saturday, which is Saturn's day, the traditional ruler for Aquarius, and we're definitely going to be checking in with Saturn today. This Aquarius New Moon is on Saturday, January 21st, 2023 at 12:53 p.m. Pacific time, and it's found at 1 degree of Aquarius in 32 minutes. So we'll get more into that in a moment. I just wanted to go ahead and lay out some building blocks for our time together. So happy Aquarius season to you. For those of you that are Aquarius sun, moon, or rising, this is your time of year. Happy birthday to the Aquarius suns out there. I am an Aquarius sun as well, so I get it. We've had Saturn moving through our sign for the last 3 years. This is the last Aquarius season with Saturn still in the sign of Aquarius. So we're going to check in with that today. We're going to check in with the star card in the tarot. We'll do a little guided meditation for Aquarius energy and check in with some Aquarian affirmations. And after we do all of that, we have a special guest on the show this week who is here to talk to us about the Chariot card. So on the podcast this week, we're joined by special guest Nick Kepley, who is a Libra sun, Aquarius moon, and a Leo rising. In light of 2023 being a collective Chariot tarot year, Nick shares with us their innovative thoughts on the Chariot and its connection to the Tower card, and a talk called Cracking the Chariot. So that will come after our new moon meditation and update. So thank you as always for being here. Again, my name is Jeff Hinshaw. I am an astrologer, a tarot practitioner, a mentor, a teacher, a writer, and I release this podcast episode on each new and full moon as a free offering to the collective. If you do want to support this work, I do have a Patreon, patreon.com/Cosmic Cousins. That helps the production of the show. So let's go ahead and transition into tuning into and talking about Aquarius. So Aquarius is a collective air sign. It is the second to last sign of the zodiac wheel. So we're getting towards the culmination or the enlightenment of Pisces. Aquarius as collective air is connected to humanity. It's often referred to as the humanitarian. And so Aquarian energy is important for all of us right now. You may have heard that we are in the age of Aquarius, and there's a little bit of discrepancy of when the age of Aquarius started, but one of the things that we can feel into with the age of Aquarius, which is a whole 2,000-year time period, is the internet. This is what one of Aquarius's themes are. It's connected to technology and to the internet. Information that is made available to all people. Yes, there's a little bit of discrepancies there as well. Does everyone have access to technology? Aquarius would like that to be so. Aquarius wants freedom and equality for all people. So it's a complex archetype. There's a lot that we can talk about, and when we tune into Aquarius, it can sometimes feel like it's scattering in many different directions. But Aquarius as collective air is connected to the group's thoughts, which when we're on social media or the internet, we are able to read other people's thoughts. So Aquarius is tapped into the group mind and is here to bring us into the future. So revolutionary concepts, working through and connecting with others on the internet. And so it's important for Aquarian energy, when we're experiencing Aquarius energy, or if you are an Aquarius, to practice discernment, getting very clear on what your own truth is. And one of the ways that Aquarian energy might inspire this is through spaciousness or through some sort of freedom. Aquarius is connected to the cosmos, the stars in the sky, to space. And so spaciousness is important for the Aquarian brain to come back into alignment with their own unique vibration. Aquarian, the contrarian, yes, it's connected to humanity, to groups of people, to the internet. But at the same time, Aquarius needs space from the group in order to open themselves up to being a channel to receiving the insight that they need in order to share their truth with the world. And so Aquarian energy is connected to humanity, while at the same time is connected to being in your own vibration. And once Aquarian energy inspires that connection to one's own unique vibration, we're then able to broadcast that message out to the world, to share that message out to the world. And when we look at the glyph for Aquarius, we'll see it's two energy waves on top of each other. Aquarius is connected to energy. It's connected to your energetic body. I'm even looking at the software that I'm using right now to record this podcast episode, and I'm seeing that my words that I'm speaking into the microphone are then creating these energy waves, the sound waves that are traveling to you through technology. And so it is with the intent. Aquarius and its evolution is here to bring healing to others through the power of word, through the power of technology. So the phrases I have for us for this Aquarius new moon, and I'll always offer 3 phrases to you. They are sometimes the traditional phrases, sometimes things that I'm intuitively feeling for this particular lunation. But I have these phrases: I know, I hope, I heal. I know, I hope, I heal. So you could fill in the blank on these phrases, elaborate on them. You could pull a tarot card for each of them. And if you do, you could tag me on Instagram, and I'd love to take a look at what tarot cards you're getting for these 3 phrases. I know is a traditional phrase for Aquarius, and I know connects us to the fixed air quality of Aquarius, which I often attribute to the King of Swords, king being fixed, swords being air. I hope and I heal really connect us to the star card in the tarot, which is Aquarius's soul growth. And right now I'm using the deck This Might Hurt Tarot, which was gifted to me by one of my dear students this past month. And so I'm getting to know this deck. And the image of the star card in this deck is pretty traditional. Typically we'll see it is a figure completely in the nude, usually kneeling by water, pouring a jug of water to the earth in one hand and pouring a jug of water back into the water with the other hand, and above them there's stars in the sky, and there's usually some sort of bird around. And on this particular star card there's 3 birds, and they look like maybe they're pelicans or egrets. I'm not quite sure, but they're birds that hang out by the water. And so this image of pouring water to the earth, I think, is really important for us to consider. I hope, I heal. I think of the water, the little lake that they're standing by, or the pond or the hot spring, is a cosmic lake that is reflecting the stars in the sky and the water. And so there's this sense of peering into the cosmic lake and receiving wisdom and information from the cosmos. This is Aquarian. There's this ability to maybe look into the future, or this ability to perceive larger celestial energies that are here to activate and awaken our innate capacities to heal not only ourselves, but to heal each other and to heal the planet. And so being in the age of Aquarius, being in Aquarius season, knowing that Pluto is going to be entering Aquarius soon, collective healing is happening exponentially. And so how are you utilizing your own gifts, your own healing gifts, to bring healing to yourself and to bring healing to others? So whatever pain, trauma, or discomfort that you have moved through in the past 3 years while Saturn's been in Aquarius has been here to activate and awaken your own capacities to bring greater healing to yourself. For a lot of us, that could be through our astrology practice. Others, tarot, any healing modality. Aquarius is here to amplify that and to encourage you to go forth and to share it with others. For some of us, if we're feeling like we're still in a deep place of healing, in which we always are, we're always on the healing path, you may find that Aquarian energy feels a little bit more personal to you, that perhaps you are needing time and space to be in some sort of deep place of receptivity, of reflection, of tuning into celestial energies, to realign you with a vibration that is suitable for your growth and evolution in this lifetime. And so if this is sounding a little out there, great. Aquarius is about being out there, taking the bigger picture. Depending on what other energies you're working with, what other planets you have in your chart, this could be very practical. Aquariuses can work in all different regions of life as long as they are given the opportunity to share a message of greater healing and freedom for all people. So Aquarius is connected to the nervous system. It's connected to the energy body. And so you could take a few rounds of breath tuning into these parts of the body and the energy body. Attune yourself to the breath. Aquarius is an air sign. It is about irrigation, distribution. So what does it feel like to breathe in and invite in light into the nervous system? As you breathe in, inviting light into the nervous system and the energy body. And as you breathe out, allowing healing to distribute throughout your body. So you can continue to do that as I share a little bit more about some invitations for this Aquarius new moon. So now may be a good time to remove yourself emotionally from a situation. It's not to say that Aquarius isn't emotional. It is a humanitarian. It cares deeply for the well-being of all people. But in order to share those gifts collectively, there does take a ability to remove oneself emotionally from a situation, to see the bigger picture, to take an objective perspective. This is why Aquarius is often said to rule over astrology, because it connects us to the stars in the sky, it aligns us with a higher vibration, it allows us to take a bigger objective perspective of our life. So Aquarius is reminding us to utilize technology to help bring greater healing to others. This is a time to seek support from a variety of viewpoints. As we move through Aquarius season, invite in a more holistic approach into your life. See the bigger picture. Reach out to friends. Connect with like-minded community. Communicate your truth. Something we can do on this new moon is to write down our hopes and ideas for a better tomorrow, while at the same time you can release any limiting beliefs or negative self-talk that are keeping you from embodying the hopes and ideas you have for a better tomorrow. So new moons can be times to go within, to plant new intentions, new seeds. So we're planting seeds for loving and supportive community. This is a visionary energy. Aquarius is reminding us that through vision and also through persistence and hard work, Aquarius's traditional ruling planet is Saturn. It will get better. And we have to trust in this. So now is the time to believe that whatever it is you're moving through in your personal life, and also whatever it is we're moving through collectively, we have to trust and believe that it will get better, that we are growing, that we are healing. I know, I hope, I grow. So now is the time to believe, make a wish for collective healing, see the higher purpose. You are cosmically supported at all times. That could be a nice affirmation for us. Some other affirmations. I am safe and protected by community. What does it feel like to breathe that into the body? I am safe and protected by community. Any parts of you that are resistant to that, can you allow them to soften as you exhale? Community supports me and meets my needs. Breathing that into the body. I believe in collective healing. I let go and trust that all is well. So the esoteric phrase for Aquarius is waters of life am I poured forth for thirsty friends. Again, Aquarius is the nervous system and energetic body. It's also connected to the space between joints, to the ankles, and to the Achilles tendon. Aquarius' tarot card, we talked about the Star and the King of Swords. It's also associated with the Fool, which is Uranus, and with the World, which is Saturn. So I have some additional thoughts on this Aquarius new moon that I'd like to share with you that give us further context. So this Aquarius season is the last Aquarius season with Saturn still in the sign of Aquarius. So we can think back. Again, Aquarius gives us this big picture objective perspective. So let's think back. Saturn entered Aquarius in March of 2020, right when social distancing measures were put into place due to the global pandemic. So Saturn brings structure to whatever sign it's in. It brings structure, responsibility, and a sobering effect. So over the past 3 years, we've collectively been learning how to take greater responsibility for humanity. So whatever Aquarius placements you have in your own birth chart have likely been moving through some sort of initiation of maturation. If you don't have Aquarius placements, you can also look to your Aquarius house in your chart to see how you have been structuring, taking greater responsibility. So this can feel restricting to Aquarian energy, while also it could be quite stabilizing too. Other signs to be looking at, Leo has been in opposition to this Saturn and Aquarius transit as well. So Leos, you've likely been experiencing this Saturn maturation as well. The good news is, for those of you who are Aquarius and Leo, Saturn leaves Aquarius and enters Pisces this March of 2023. And so for all of us in the collective, this is a shift, because when things leave Aquarius, there's less of a focus on the collective and humanity. So as Saturn enters Pisces, we start shifting to new themes. Pisces is connected to spirituality. It's connected to mental and emotional health. It's connected to sleep, to water. So we're going to be taking those things a bit more responsibly, and I will be releasing more information about that on the Pisces new moon. But for now, we still have Saturn in Aquarius, all of Aquarius season. And so on this new moon, Venus and Saturn are conjunct at 24 degrees of Aquarius. So Venus, relationships, love, beauty, and money are under a Saturnian review. So relationships, love, money are facing the test of time. This is Saturn. So Venus and Saturn together hold the potential to create long-lasting, stable relationships. You can think Saturn, the planet with rings around it. Saturn is connected to rings, and so marriage is associated with Venus and Saturn coming together. So this may be a time to really take an objective perspective of your life, Aquarius, of your community, and also of your relationships, Venus. So some questions to be considering on this new moon and with Venus and Saturn joining together is, do you feel nourished by your interactions? How might you invite in greater support from your friends, from your community, and from the greater collective? You don't have to do this alone. So these are some of the major signatures of this new moon, is that this is the last Aquarius new moon with Saturn still in Aquarius. Venus and Saturn are conjunct in the sky. And also, the new moon is occurring at the 1st degree of Aquarius, and this is just a few degrees from Pluto in Capricorn at the 28th degree. So as we approach the moon passes by Pluto, and then just a few minutes later, we have the new moon. So for some of us, this new moon may feel quite Plutonian. Pluto in Capricorn at the final few degrees, this is the end of a bigger chapter. Pluto's been in Capricorn since 2008, and it represents the death and the rebirth of Capricorn themes, the death and rebirth of the patriarchy. So for some of us, this new moon may feel like a deep underworld journey. You may be feeling Plutonian themes. You may be clearing out toxins, clearing out shame and guilt. There could be some sort of deep release or deeper private journey that you're going on that is ultimately leading to your spiritual transformation. So there could be some experiences that arise on or around this new moon that foreshadow energy that's to come in the following months, because Pluto prepares to enter Aquarius on March 25th of 2023. So things are starting to shift and change. We have Saturn entering Pisces in March, and we have Pluto entering Aquarius. These are outer planets. So there's collective changes on the horizon, committing to our spirituality, Saturn and Pisces, transformation for the collective, Pluto and Aquarius. So some things to be considering if you are feeling the Plutonian influence of this new moon is, what within you is dying? How can you honor the grief and trust in the transformation? What old modes of existence need to be shed in order to create room for the new? One way we can work with this, I'm feeling into Jupiter. Jupiter is in the early degrees of Aries, and so this new moon in Aquarius, in the early degrees of air, is forming a sextile with Jupiter and Aries. And Jupiter being in these early degrees of Aries, we are ripe for new beginnings. Fire is here as an ally to help transform the old and to burn through the karma of Pisces as we enter Aries, right? It's new beginnings. So if you are able to spend time by fire, letting go of the past, creating room for the new. So I'm wishing for you an easeful Aquarius new moon. I know for me in my own personal life, 2023 has been off to a rocky start. There's been some unexpected life happenings and setbacks for me. Saturn is conjunct to my Aquarius sun all month long, so I am over here taking it day by day. I'm reminding myself to pause throughout the day, to connect with my body and my breath, so I'm also reminding you of that too. Be gentle with yourself. I am basking in the sun whenever I get the chance. I'm in, rainy Pacific Northwest, so when the sun comes out, I take advantage of it. Luckily, right now, my dear Capricorn friend Haley is in between jobs. She's in liminal space, as she says, and she's been staying with me for the past week or so, keeping me company and helping out with my dog Biji, so I can have more time and space to focus on other areas of life. And so this is an example of how community, our friends, may come into the picture around Aquarius season to help us out. And so I was feeling into Venus entered Aquarius, and then Haley came over to spend time with me. And Haley has Venus in Aquarius. So those are some of my life updates. I like to share those just to give you some practical, real examples of how me as a human are moving through these energies. Some professional updates though. I'm deep in mentoring 7 different individuals right now, and I feel super nourished and grateful to be able to hold space as a mentor and teacher in this kind of way. If you're interested in working with me one-on-one, I do have one more opening right now for a one-on-one mentorship. And I also have private readings available too. So I have links to those in the show notes, both astrology and tarot readings. There are a few more openings for January through March. In addition, I have a Chariot year workshop download that is being released on the Leo full moon coming up in 2 weeks. And so we are in a collective Chariot year, which we're going to explore here in the second half of this episode. So the Chariot year, 2023, you add up the digits, 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 3 equals 7, and we get the Chariot. And so the Chariot also happens to be the tarot card associated with Cancer. So for those of you who are Cancer, Sun, Moon, or Rising, this is a year of major soul growth for you. And for those of you who are Life Path 7, there's a karmic return to your Chariot gifts in this year. So if you are interested in learning about life path cards, tarot year cards, the collective cards, and you want to go deeper into these invitations of the Chariot, I have a new 2-hour workshop download that's available for pre-order. And this workshop is designed specifically to deepen your connection to the Chariot and to offer you guidance in this new year, which we're going to talk about in more depth here with our guest on the podcast this week, Nick Kepley. So let me read a little bit about Nick for you. Nick is a white, queer, non-binary tarot anarchist who believes in the power of words and their complete inability to describe reality. Since 2011, Nick has been working as a tarot facilitator, utilizing the cards as a reflective tool and witnessing the conversations that take place between clients and their deeper knowing. In addition to this work, Nick is also the co-creator of the In Search of Tarot guided journal collection, the founder of the Searcher Symposium for Tarot Education, and the host of the In Search of Tarot podcast. And so at this time, let's go ahead and tune into Nick's thoughts on the Chariot.
In her book, Pleasure Activism, The Politics of Feeling Good, Adrienne Marie Brown writes, quote, "The parts of our imaginations that hold what we most desire, what brings us pleasure, what makes us scream yes, are where we must seed the future, turn toward justice and liberation, and reprogram ourselves to desire sexually and erotically empowered lives," end quote. For many of us, January is a time of seeding the future, and you may have heard that 2023 is a year of the Chariot in tarot speak. We come to this through the numerology of the year. 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 3 equals 7, and 7 equals the Chariot. Just as a crab relies on their shell for protection, tarot teacher Lindsay Mack describes the Chariot as our constructed sense of self that we sometimes rely on to protect the soft, vulnerable underbelly. I find Mary K. Greer's teaching around tarot constellations to be incredibly helpful in understanding the depth of the major arcana archetypes. Using this method, the Chariot, 7, constellates with the Tower, 16, 1 plus 6 equals 7. Today we're going to explore how these two archetypes relate with one another and what stories they can help each other tell. The Tower often points to themes of transformation, exposure, and release. Mack draws our eyes to the plummeting figure in the Smith-Rider-Waite deck interpretation of the Tower and reminds us that we survive crashes and falls better when we allow our bodies to relax before impact. According to ScienceABC.com, by relaxing your muscles, you are allowing the different parts of your body to move independently in reaction to the collision. What would change if we simply surrendered? Mack asks. I'm getting ready to enter into Leah Garza's year-long learning container, Living Systems, which focuses on decoloniality. In her website description for the course, Garza explains the distinction between decoloniality and social justice by pointing to the teaching of Bayo Okomolafe, who, according to Garza, has coined the term post-activism to refer to what happens when we engage in the world, not from the place of having to save the world, but from a place of knowing we are the world. When the Supreme Court reversal of Roe v. Wade happened last year, I noticed a sudden influx of tarot readers and writers sharing thoughts on the tower in emails and on social media. It was a striking moment. Mixed in among these babble voices, I came across an interview with Akomolafe in which he posed the question, what if there's a space for just sitting with the trouble of noticing that the things we've lost may never come back to us? This reminded me of one of the most profound learnings of my life, which is that when we don't know what to do, we can simply say so. In her book, A Return to Love, Marianne Williamson writes, as uncomfortable as our life may be, as painful or even desperate at times, the life we're living is the life we know, and we cling to the old rather than try something new. If we think of the Chariot as our container, or our sense of what we already know, then the tower might seem like a pretty threatening obstacle in the road. But I've been thinking a lot about what it might take to seize the reins of my story, and the destructive impulse of the tower feels like the dynamite I need. According to Australian anthropologist Michael Tosig, wildness challenges the unity of the symbol, the transcendent totalization binding the image to that which it represents. Wildness pries open this unity, and its place creates slippage and a grinding articulation between signifier and signified. For me, the space of distance and slippage is the margin, the strange liminal trickster space that connects us with the possibility of queerness, which, according to Jose Esteban Munoz, is always an ideality, the warm illumination of a horizon imbued with potentiality. If what Munoz says is true, and we are, quote, not yet queer, then the construction of queerness that exists in the public imagination, the Chariot, which has been built around us, only serves to hold us back from our true connection with wildness of the margin. But as Finn Schubert writes, I need to know how I exist to cis people in order to see clearly which of these stories I want to take on and which I want to reject. If I didn't do the work of asking myself how I exist in the cis imagination, I might mistake it for who I actually am. Shape-shifting, teleporting, astral projecting, these are all trickster powers. So are chaos and destruction. In mythology, heroes face their fears, while tricksters outwit and transform them. When answering questions of right and wrong, this or that, life or death, Akomolafe posits, I wonder if the trickster isn't beckoning us at the wilds beyond our fences, wanting us to dance between the binary in the tower being life and death. Marginals are intimately familiar with the life-saving power of the trickster. Because our identities have not been accepted and therefore codified into the center narrative, we are constantly transforming and reshaping ourselves, sometimes in an effort to become more legible, but often in an expression of pure joy and imagination, a deeply necessary component of human thriving. What fantasies open in our minds when we submit to the sheer terror of the tower's fall? What awaits us after the crack of the Chariot? These questions invite fear, but it may be helpful to investigate what gets framed as crisis and by whom. Those with the power to dictate what we should be afraid of can also dictate our solutions. Hell exists. Save yourself. Join our church and find God. As Raoul Vaneigem writes in his book, The Movement of the Free Spirit, the end of the world, with or without renewal, is profitable only in its anticipation. Our current moment calls for a kind of heretical vulnerability. The fall is more than necessary. It is inevitable. I'm feeling personally called to burn the pages of the plot I never wrote about myself, but which I've been living out in a kind of dull daze. This is queer radicalism. This is Chariot Tower work.
Thank you so much, Nick, for sharing your perspective and your point of view here on this Aquarius New Moon. Again, Nick is a Libra Sun with Aquarius Moon and a Leo rising. Beginning February 5th, which is the Leo full moon. I wonder if Nick did that on purpose. I'd imagine so. Beginning February 5th, Nick will be facilitating a 6-week immersive container called Restructuring Tarot, which will help people create and test their own system of interpretation, which feels quite Aquarian to me. You can learn more about Nick and sign up for this offering by visiting manofthecards.com and by following In Search of Tarot on Instagram. There are some links in the show notes. And so, again, I'm wishing for you a happy Chariot year. Perhaps you place the Chariot card out on an altar, spend some time journaling about the Chariot. And here on this Aquarius New Moon, you could be connecting to your star card. And so, as always, it's an honor to connect with you in this way. Being of service to the community through these practices of astrology and tarot bring me a lot of joy, and I hope in some way it's bringing greater healing and perspective to your life. I did want to just share an update. I had previously mentioned that the Cosmic Cousins Astro Oracle would be open for pre-enrollment on this Aquarius New Moon. However, due to logistical reasons and just some personal life things that are going on, this project is on the back burner for the next few weeks. But the good news is the deck is complete, but I am still in process with the guidebook. So there's more to come on that. As always, I'm forever grateful for you and our community. I'm wishing for you a healing Aquarius New Moon and an easeful start to Aquarius season. Sending you off with a lot of love. Take sweet care, cousins, and remember, deep breaths.